When it comes on picking up the pieces from hurricane, or actually for us, Tropical Storm Idalia. So you'll see all that at hisradio.com. This is interesting. I don't know why this happened, but Liz, who now has 3 grandchildren, all under the age of 3, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All under because 2 of them are twins.
Yes. Yes.
And then you got the granddaughter.
Right. So she's 2.5, and then the twins are 11 months old.
Okay.
Wow.
So one of them changed her name.
Yeah. So we knew that my daughter wanted me to be called Bitta. That's a family name. Niece and nephew came up with that out of Elizabeth. They couldn't say that, so it came out Bitta. Well, now I'm Bada.
Bada?
Bada.
There's an app called Bada.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh, what is it?
It's like a grocery store app, and you get savings for turning in your receipts, and so now you're the Bada.
That makes complete sense.
Yeah.
So we spell it, or I spell it, B-A-D-D-A-H. Bada.
Bada. Oh, not Bada. See, it's B-O-T-T-A is the one I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay. No, she'll be like, Bada. Bada, come here. The other day, sweetest thing, she went, Mommy, I mean Bada.
I mean Bada.
I'm like, no, you call me Mommy.
Bada. Alan Henderson, who's our general manager at His Radio, one of his grandkids calls him Bobby.
I wonder where that came from.
Bobby. And so he's always forever Bobby. And Jake, I can't remember if this is your grandparent or if it was a friend.
Okay, so I got this friend who at the time had both grandparents, and the grandmother's name is Joyce, but they call her JoJo, naturally.
That's cute.
I do like that.
Yeah, JoJo. The grandfather's name was Tom, but they called him Nani.
Nani.
Now, Nani is a grandmother name, if I'm not mistaken, because my granddaughter calls her other grandma Nani.
Nani.
So I wonder where it came from for him.
I don't really know.
These kids, it's hilarious. I'm like, they messed up, but it's cute when they come up with these names.
Scott's wife's grandmother is known by what?
Tata. That's a Lebanese name. T-A-I-T-A or T-E-T-A, a couple of different spellings, but it means grandmother.
That's
very unique.
I like that.
I had a friend whose name was Tanya, and the kids called her Tonka.
See,
that's cute.
My grandmother went by Grandma.
Listen.
Very unique.
Right?
Very
so
unique.
Original.
I know. What about Ninja? What's Grandma for you?
My grandma is Momodana.
Momo?
Momodana.
And you have to say it like that. You can't say Mama. Momo. Okay.
And Papa. And on my mom's side, we would call my grandpa grandfather. Not grandpa, grandfather.
Grandfather.
I had one of those.
A grandfather.
It was a grandmother. I was not allowed to say.
Grandma?
Yeah, not
Really?
really. It was grandmother.
Okay.
But her husband was grandpa.
I've got a unique one.
What?
They call me, hey, you.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
Just got an open mic in through the My His Radio app.
Hi, this is Claire. When I was very young, I used to call my Uncle Billy Bibby, and I still do it today. Love you guys.
Oh, we love you too, Claire. And I love what you call your uncle.
Biva. That's kind of
Biva.
cool.
That's so good. Talking about the cool grandparent name. Like Liz was Bitta, but now she's a Bada. Because she got her name changed on her.
And when they change it, when the kids change it, it's 100% okay.
Right.
Well, we got a text from Pamela, and she has a question. Whatever happened to Meemaw?
Okay, so I'll talk about my family.
Okay.
My 2 middle kids, Spencer and Amanda, called their great-grandmother when she was alive, Meemaw.
Meemaw.
Little Meemaw. There was Little Meemaw and Big Meemaw.
No way.
And yes, that's the reason why.
Okay. I wasn't going to ask.
One was little, one was big.
A little larger. All right. Christy said, my mother-in-law is Monk Monk. The grandkids call
Monk
her
Monk.
Monk Monk.
That's interesting.
You know what? It doesn't even matter. If the kids come up with it, it's awesome.
So Pastor Joe is here at 800-447-7234. What about you, Pastor Joe?
My wife, the teen group has called her Mama T, and so we're expecting she'll be Mama T to our grandchildren. My parents were grandmama and granddaddy. I wanted to be a granddaddy.
So that's what you are asking to be called, but you know it's going to come out different.
Yeah, my 17-year-old daughter just doesn't like that at all. She wants me to have some school nickname for a grandfather.
I wonder. So you got Mama T, Papa J.
Papa Joe.
Papa
Exactly.
Joe. There you go.
Yeah, no, I want to be called Granddaddy.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
I love that. Through the middle of all the storm, we're hearing about some of the names that you give to Grandma
Yeah.
or Grandpa.
Or Grandpa.
Now, Lynn's here at 800-447-7234.
I have lots of nieces and nephews, and my family's always called me Linny, but when my sister started having children, I was Aunt Ninny because they couldn't say the L.
That is so cute, and you love it, don't you?
I do. And then when I had a kid, when I had my son, I tried to get him to say Grandma for my mom, and he somehow changed it to Mucka, and she hated it.
Monka. I love a Monka. That's so cool.
Serena texted and she said, okay, so one of my little cousins called her Papa and Granny, called it Papa and She Papa.
She Papa.
She Papa.
Okay, that's the first. I've never heard She Papa.
I love it. Okay, so then Jerry texted and said, I had a cousin who couldn't say Uncle Lee, and so he used to call him Ugga Lee.
Ugly. Oh, no.
Ugly?
You say that fast. That's what it sounds like, ugly. Oh, no. I'm so sorry. I'm embarrassed. Okay. What about you, Karen? You're on his radio.
So my daughter and her son and my son-in-law are going to be starting their family.
First grandchild?
It would be my first grandchild.
Oh, what are you going to go by?
I'm not a grandma or a granny. And all of I have two girls, and their friends call me Mama K, so I may be Mama K.
I love that.
And it's so cute that it actually started with somebody else, maybe even outside the family. I love it, but whatever they call you, that's what it's going to be.
I know, but I'll just let her choose. If it's a girl, we don't know.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
It's Rob and Liz in the morning, his radio.
So Manchala, she went to bed one night, and before she went to bed, she realized that near her neighborhood in that area, there was a missing child. She was real concerned about it. So she wakes up at like 3:30 in the morning and probably just goes to her phone, and she's checking. The kid is still missing. She gets up the next morning, realizes child is still missing, and so she's like, okay, I'm gonna go check. So she checks like the trash cans, because this is a 3-year-old baby. She is checking under the trash cans.
So
under
this
the
is a
car.
neighbor's kid?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's somebody in the neighborhood that had been visiting. So they had been on vacation or visiting family.
Visiting in town.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
my word.
And so, I mean, she's checking everywhere. And then she's like, okay, I'm just going to go tell my neighbor that she needs to look out for this baby. She gets on the porch. The baby's asleep on the porch swing.
On the person's porch?
Yes.
Wow.
Had crawled up in the porch swing. And so she, sort of tapped the little baby and was like kind of shaking him, back and forth. His name's Thomas. And she's like, baby, are you okay? And when he first woke up, of course, he's groggy and he calls her mama. And she said, no, but do you want to go see your mama? Anyway, fast forward, she picks him up, she cuddles him a little bit, calls the authorities. He's back home with his family. On the porch
And
swing.
she cared enough.
Listen,
right?
she
wanted to do something about this.
She was waking up in the middle of the night worried about this baby. And I truly feel like it was God getting her ready, like saying, I want you to worry about this a little bit, and not worry about it, but be concerned about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it still be on your mind in the morning, because you are the one that is going to find this baby and get him back to safety.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
Evidently, there's some places throughout the Carolinas and Georgia that are really cheap to go and eat.
I know. I got to find these places because I love to cheap on the eat on the cheap. So in Kennesaw, Georgia, there's a place, if you love tacos, you can go to Tacos del Chavo. That is inexpensive and supposedly really delicious. And when you go there, you get the tamales and the enchilada.
And they're a quarter.
I don't know that they're a quarter.
I don't know. They're
gonna be
25 cents.
Overrun with people today.
You can say they're 25 cents. I heard about it. But don't do that.
No, don't do that.
I have no idea, but they're cheap enough
At
that
least
they're on the
$1.
cheap list.
Right.
As far as affordable. I don't like, what was it? Was it my daughter that's saying, please don't say I'm trying to do something cheap. I'm not doing this cheap. I'm just trying to do it inexpensive.
Inexpensive. It's a much nicer, kinder, more friendly
Right?
word.
Yeah. So these are inexpensive places
Yes, they are. But
to eat.
Yeah, there's a place in North Carolina. If you love hot dog, Chili Man.
That's in
Man.
Charlotte, isn't it?
Charlotte,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. And they say what to order is the life changer. So I don't know
What
anything.
could that be?
Right. So I think it's like cheese and it has mustard. Okay, but there is an ingredient I don't understand. Somebody's going to have to enlighten me. It's called taco juice. That don't sound good, but it must be. It must be because people are raving taco juice.
Taco juice.
Chili,
Okay.
onions, and jalapenos all on this one hot dog.
Merle's Inlet has the Millstone Biscuit Company.
Mm.
They say that's affordable enough.
Hold on, I got to sit back because my jeans are getting tight just thinking about it.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
I know, so horrific to hear that we've got this hurricane that was coming through. It could have been a whole lot worse. I mean, I was reading about Tybee Island and Hilton Head, and thankfully minimal damage because, I mean, Idalia went right through as a tropical storm.
Oh, sure.
However, Wilmington Island and the Savannah area has got some trees that are down and some of the driveways. I've seen that a couple of years ago. Last time, what was it, Ida that came through? And so there was a lot of that kind of damage that was on Wilmington Island. And then there's some power outages that are going on in the coastal empire. Same thing for Charleston. I mean, we've got some flooding at Edisto Beach and the Battery and some other places and downed power lines and
Flooding
trees.
homes.
I know, right?
Which is terrible.
Yeah, not as bad as what it could have been if we would have had a big, huge hurricane force come through with Idalia. But tropical storm still did some damage.
Still did some damage, and I think it's always better to prepare for the worst and pray for the best.
Right.
You know, and that's kind of maybe what happened, at least so far that we've seen. Still some high winds in certain areas, a lot of rain happening. There are some schools that are either they're just done, they're not going today at all, or they're e-learning.
It's virtual, yeah. And the scariest thing that was captured, at least on somebody's phone, was the tornado in Goose Creek. Literally, the lady's like, oh, my word, there's a tornado coming through, and the car in front of her, you literally see it, so it's posted. You literally see the car going up in the air and twisting a couple of times and then landing. I think it like grazed a car in front of it.
That's what it looks like.
Where the path of where it was flying to, there were two people, if I understand correctly, that were inside. They were injured, but not badly. So it could have been a whole lot worse.
I feel like they were very secure in their vehicle. They were buckled up because it did.
man.
It flipped several times.
Right.
And then the people in the other car were pretty sure that they were okay, too. I wonder about the person that's driving the car that filmed it. They were all going really, really slow. But if I'd have seen that, I would have been like, ah! And
right?
maybe,
Like,
go off the
am
road.
I next to getting ready to fly
Right.
here? I got a Peter Pan in my car?
Yeah.
What's going on? And then you've got Myrtle Beach and Georgetown and some of the other flooding and power lines and other things that are down. Not as bad of what it could have been, but still enough that it's disrupting a lot of things. And like Liz said earlier, you got some of the schools along the area, plus Columbia and Fayetteville and the Raleigh-Durham Triangle area that we're looking at some e-learning are closed.
Yeah, and if you're going to work, if you're commuting, and you take back roads, I take a lot of back roads, just be aware there's going to be trees down, maybe some limbs, kind of take it a little easier.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
Marissa has twins. They're 3 years old. One of her twins loves Mickey D's.
I see it.
Absolutely loves Mickey D's. So much so that as Marissa lays the twins down for a nap, and she takes one herself, because you usually do that, right?
Oh, that's the only
think
time.
I'm pretty sure she was taking a nap. She woke up, and Aiden, one of her twins, is gone. And she winds up finding out he was at McDonald's.
Look, those Happy Meals, they call your name.
Literally, 3-year-old sneaks out of the house, walks to McDonald's.
How in the world does this baby can reach the doorknob?
Right?
How does that happen?
And so, of course, the authorities are called at the McDonald's. Yeah. It's just like, there's a 3-year-old here, officer. And so they connect back mom and the baby. And so mom's like, he's an escape artist. This is just crazy. You don't think that's going to happen.
No.
You don't. You take the measures, you lock the doors, you do all this stuff. She added more locks that are higher up.
You think?
Yes.
The baby just had the McDonald's app and wanted to cash in.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
Maria was so excited. A name was already picked if it was going to be a boy, and his name was Thyden.
Thyden. Oh, I like that.
Thyden. What a name, huh? So she's in the hospital. She gives birth. The nurses come to her moments later after the baby came out of the room. And, to do whatever the nurses had to do. This was back about 40 some odd years ago. And the nurses said, "We are so sorry, Maria. Your baby didn't make it." Sad.
Oh, my goodness.
To her surprise, 42 years later, her son contacts her.
What in the
Yeah. So this is in Chile. And in Chile, it was a practice that some hospitals, the staff behind the scenes, not the hospitals doing, but they would take the babies, send them to the U.S., and did these adoptions, these counterfeit adoptions.
Oh, my
so
goodness.
he was in the U.S., he was adopted, he had no idea, and then found out the story. He tracked down his mom, and he just gave her first hug.
Oh, my goodness. Cold chills.
42 years later.
Can you imagine getting that phone call? Hi, Mom. Like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What in the
So
world?
crazy, but a series of events, and then he was able to go to Chile and then hug his mom.
And if this is something that happens, like that happened, rather, on the regular.
That was in the 70s and 80s. That was very common practice in Chile for a lot of people to do the counterfeit adoptions, and it's just crazy.
And I wonder, I feel like that people on this side, in the U.S., maybe some of them did not know where
no idea.
It was just this child is at an orphanage and is available for adoption.
Yeah.
Wow, such a good ending to this story.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
So you heard the news. Was it last weekend, Bob Barker?
Last Saturday, I think.
Saturday, Bob Barker passed away. You've probably seen a lot of the different tributes throughout the week, but CBS is doing a big prime time tribute. It's either tonight or tomorrow.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it starts at 8 o'clock. I grew up with this guy, and I think so many people did because I think he was the host for like 3 decades.
35 years altogether, yeah.
And then Drew Carey took over, who, by the way, is going to host the tribute tonight, which makes perfect sense. They had a good relationship. I grew up with this guy, and I used to call him, I would say, "Oh, watch Fafarker."
How old?
Maybe 3
Okay,
or
that makes
4.
sense.
Yeah, it was. I wasn't 18.
An 18-year going, fart? What?
No.
What'd you-
Fafarker.
Farker?
No, Fafarker.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah. And then
for a moment there.
No, I wouldn't say that.
I'm hopeful.
No.
You shouldn't say it here.
And I would always ask for a shamit and cami soup when I watched Fafarker.
What's that mean?
That is a sandwich and Campbell's soup.
Oh, okay.
You know how kids are.
Yeah.
That's the way they hear it, and that's the way they say it. But Bob is just, yeah.
Scott was a Bob Barker. I got to say it right now because I'm going to
I
say it
know, you
Liz's
almost said
way.
it.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Right? He was a big fan.
I love Bob Barker, and I just remember every sick day, a little bowl of chicken soup, some ginger ale, saltine crackers, and Bob Barker and The Price is Right. It was
Yeah.
comforting.
He made your
was
tummy feel
comforting.
better.
Every summer and
Yeah.
every sick day for a
Yeah.
kid. You're
Right? That's
right.
absolutely right. My grandmother ran into him on Treasure Island Beach one time and then got his autograph mailed to him.
Why did I just get
Or
cold
her.
chills? What is
Yeah.
up with that? Like, oh my
He
goodness.
was evidently vacationing in the Tampa Bay area. Treasure Island is near St. Pete Beach, and she was at the beach, and there he was.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
It's Rob and Liz in the morning, his radio.
So there's a TV show. My daughter keeps telling me that I need to watch it. I think it's on Apple TV.
It is. It's on Apple TV.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about.
I really don't know anything about it, but it's Ted Lasso. And I hear it's huge.
He's a soccer. All I know about the show, I've never watched one because I'm not really interested.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of the actor, but he's like a soccer coach, and it's a comedy. That's all I know about this show.
So I think you're right about, Rob, about the actors. I think it's Jason Sudeikis. And in the past, he's been a flavor that I don't really want.
SNL.
To watch.
Fame, right?
So the Ted Lasso show, and that's what my daughter had said. It's cleaner. I don't know.
Well, that's good to hear.
Okay. So there are some cookies, biscuits, as they call them overseas, that are for sale that are from the show. It's biscuits with the boss. No idea what that means. So is he the boss? He must be the boss.
He's a coach.
Okay. So he's the boss of the team. Anyway.
There you go. Yeah.
The leader of the team. Okay, they're shortbread cookies. A shortbread cookie, there's not a lot that goes into a shortbread cookie. They're $30 a box. $30 a box.
So I don't know for shortbread cookie. Is that expensive?
Super expensive.
Okay, because I don't know if I've had a shortbread cookie.
For $30, I feel like, and I haven't made them in a while, I feel like I could make about 20 dozen cookies for $30 with the ingredients.
How 20
There's like-
dozen?
I think for $30, I think I could make at home 30 dozen shortbread cookies. That's a lot of cookies. So they're charging
What's a 30 dozen?
20 or 30 dozen.
Oh, okay. I thought it was some kind of new math.
It's recipe math.